Let's talk about books, baby. Let's talk about reading. All the time and at night especially. Let's talk about books. 3 to be precise. First, a book that I stumbled across last year called Falling Into Place by Amy Zhang. Hope I said her name right. This book is such a nice, enjoyable read. It's about a girl called Liz who feels like her life is a mess and she's messed up her own life and everybody else is around her, and the only way she feels to fix that is to take her out of any forms of life itself. So I can kind of relate to her a bit in that sense. So she goes and she crashes her car. Now the story follows 3 different points. The first is the point before anything major crossed her mind. It was the point where she goes back and she tells you kind of like how she messed up these people's lives, how she messed up her life, what is wrong, etc. There's a point a few minutes before her crash that like goes from 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and just what she was feeling in those moments. And then there's a point of where she's in the hospital and there are other people around her and everybody's finding out about her and the school and the reactions of her crashing her car and being fatally, not ill, not damaged, being in a fatal condition. Now the best way I can get you to like hopefully pick up this book and read it is that when I finished it and I closed it, I felt like I could breathe again. Like I kind of just relaxed. My body knew, like I knew what had gone on. I knew the answer to everything that I'd been wondering throughout the story. Because for it all, I must have been holding my breath or something just waiting to find out. Because I did become attached to Liz and I did feel very sorry for her. She was just a messed up girl and she took it way too hard. She put herself in a hard position and put herself way too hard, and I just wanted to give her a hug and find out that she was okay. Book number 2, Tampa. Tampa is a very sexual book about a school teacher who has a thing for 14-year-old boys. Now as weird as it is a freaking good book, and it's not just like she goes after every single 14-year-old boy. She likes finding a certain one who knows that he will never tell on her and seducing them and being the first for everything and the innocence on it all. It's just, ugh. But most of the time I forgot that she was performing these acts on a 14-year-old and how wrong it was, but then I was also sat there waiting for the chapter where she would get caught, where everything would go wrong for her, where she'd get what she finally deserved. And to make it like completely convenient, her husband was a police officer. The ending as well is one that you just gotta read just for that. I think the ending of a few of my books that I've read recently have just been so good that I've closed it and I've just gone, gah, like in anger and wanting to, I don't know. Third book is one that I finished last night, and it is Men, Women and Children. I'd seen in my cinema they have like little pictures of upcoming movies, and this was one of them. I got really intrigued and it never actually came on, so I don't know what the promotion for the film was, but it was never on in my cinema, and my friend said it was only, she had to go to Manchester and it was only 2 weeks there. So like seriously, promotion of this film, not like it. The book itself and how I accidentally stumbled across it, amazing. So I picked up the book being like, oh that's that movie that I wanted to go see, and I read the first page, as I do, and it mentions anal. So I immediately bought it. Not in that way, in the way that it just made me laugh. But holy damn, I did not realise how sexual this book was. Like, I would not read this if you are not comfortable with reading about ejaculation and porn and fetishes and penises. Because it has a lot of that in it, which also makes me very excited to watch the movie now because it's got Ansel Elgort in it. Although I watched the trailer and he's not any of the characters that are sexual, so damn it. It is very much like a book version of the movies Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve, and the fact that it follows the story of multiple people and all their lives intertwine in certain ways, but it also all revolves around the internet. It does kind of get you thinking about your use of the internet and sex. Lots of sex. It also felt very kind of like 500 Days of Summer-esque in the way that it's never written in first person. It's always by kind of like, in my head, this narrator who's telling you the lives of all this. And I did love this style, up until the point where I started to get really annoyed that whenever a conversation started it was simply Kent said, Don said, Chris said, Rachel said. And it just started to really frustrate me, that, because I didn't like it. I didn't like saying that in my head constantly, and I didn't like the way that was done. And I know that I don't know, just that was my only flaw with this book. That's just personally what I didn't really like. Other than that, my favourite read of 2015 so far, and I would definitely recommend it if you're comfortable enough with how much sex there is. Those are my 3 favourites of January. I'm going to try to do this every month because I love books and I love talking about books. I love finding out about books. So if you have any favourites, please let me know, because I do love watching other people's videos or reading other people's comments about books. Finding out. I said books a lot in that conversation. Books, books, books. So yeah. I shall see you soon.